Payday 3 is that game. You go from mowing down hordes of cops to getting stunted on by your average Redditor.
Stop hitting yourself! Stop hitting yourself!
And along the way, you'll learn some very powerful life skills. How to pick locks, the best entry point when breaking into a jewelry store, and even how to cook rice. High potency blue rice, specifically. And if you're a fan of mowing down cops in Payday 3, oh boy do I have some good news for you because we're raiding a police HQ. The Chapter 2 DLC for Payday 3 with Boys in Blue is here, and as such, Payday reached out to sponsor this video. Boys in Blue is going to be a revenge story. The cops stole our gold, so now it's our job to take that gold back, and let me tell you, we are so back. This new heist feels straight out of Payday 1 or 2. You'll be tasked with breaking into a police station and stealing donuts. Okay, no, it's actually the gold, but donuts are still a very powerful tool when taking on the police. As in reality, our task is going to be much more difficult. We'll have to break into a police station and then break into their vault, because this contains all of the gold our crew has recently stolen from somebody else, and then the police stole it from us. And you'll almost certainly be trying to break into this vault using a tow truck, which is definitely not the most efficient way to get in. During this new heist, you'll of course have the option to go loud or quiet, which in public lobbies in Payday 3 largely means trying to go the stealth route for 5 to 10 minutes until one of your teammates idiotically gets caught on a camera. And this new heist does get particularly tense trying to play stealthy because, yeah, you're in a police station. You're literally walking around cops non-stop. But thankfully, you do get a pretty powerful lore that you can use against these cops. But at the same time, this place is an absolute minefield of cameras, cops, and locks, so I almost always end up going in loud, but that too can be a ton of fun. The core premise of this heist is going to be use some stashed away explosives as well as this tow truck to break into a police vault, with the ultimate goal being to get away in a tucked away police van that you have to break out of storage as well. And as you're playing, the heist has a pretty fun two-pronged objective. Half the squad will be clearing the station itself to gain access to the files, while the other half needs to lock down the exterior garages for that safe getaway. And particularly on higher difficulties, this very quickly becomes an absolute flood of cops. They'll come from the sky, ground, and sometimes I genuinely don't even know where these cops are coming from. Although, if you do end up picking up this DLC, you'll be coming in well prepared. I'm not typically big on cosmetics in video games, but Payday just kind of gets that aspect. The new outfits are prison themed, which are of course perfect for breaking into a police station and not getting caught. Like going in dressed up in a prison jumpsuit only to come out with a bunch of gold that you just stole back is, yeah, pretty cool. But of course, it's Payday. There's also several new mask options that are over the top and frankly glorious. We'll also be getting some new weapons with this one, and this is where things get really special. There's actually two sides to this. On one side, we'll talk about the DLC weapons that are paid here, but later on, we'll also talk about some of the free weapons that were just added with this update, which are also pretty epic. 3 new weapons are included with the DLC. The RG5 assault rifle, which, you know, it's fine. You really feel like you need the extended mag to make this one go to the next level, but you also get the ATK-7 SMG, which I thought was the perfect tool for this new heist. A lot of the gunplay is in medium to close quarters, and I feel like an SMG actually occupies that slot really well as you move from inside the police station to this more open area. But there's one thing that will fit in everywhere, as the Bull Kick 500 is also added here. Many in the community are already crowning this as the single best sidearm in the entirety of Payday 3. And honestly, yeah, I agree with them. This is a 5-shot revolver that will one-shot almost every single enemy in this game. And yeah, you don't even need to land headshots. As most of you can tell, I suck at video games. But even for me, hitting an enemy at point-blank range in the chest is something I can absolutely do almost all of the time. And with the Bull Kick 500, that is a one-tap kill, which feels absolutely amazing as you're clearing through some of these buildings. And it really is an all-around and very versatile weapon. You could use a snub-nosed barrel to really up the movement factor and get in tight on those corners. You can snipe with this thing. Like, I was pretty frequently just sniping the literal snipers because, yes, this thing is godly. And jokes aside, it is genuinely a blast to play with this weapon. Once armor starts rolling in, and particularly on this new map, as you're hunkered down between cubicles, having a sidearm that can quickly get rid of several armored up enemies is very handy. Like, it's an incredibly powerful weapon in its own right, but especially as a sidearm, where you can just switch to it and know, okay, I am going to one-shot kill whatever's in front of me, pretty much. Makes you feel a lot safer, and makes you definitely feel a lot stronger. And while this new Boys in Blue heist specifically is a ton of fun, it has a certain simplicity to it that I think is a great thing. There are plenty of objectives to do, so everyone in the squad feels like they're useful and having to do something. But at the end, in that final push, you really do need everyone teaming up to sprint some gold bags away, and it has that familiar team sense that Payday thrives on. And if you do follow the Payday 3 story, this is our gold. The police took it, so it just makes everything a bit more personal. And this DLC even has a tease as to a character returning in a future DLC. But thankfully, these epic new weapons are not exclusive to this new heist, so you can take your Bull Kick 500 into any of the various heists in the game. To go along with this new DLC, Payday 3 in general got some updates, and some of these changes are really impactful. If you're sick and tired of your teammates randomly jumping to their death, or even just messing up your stealth runs overall, a new beta solo mode was added, and this can completely change the feel of the game. Rather than efficiency, teamwork, and coordination, you can instead focus on taking things slow and just doing things the right way, which for me means playing on the lowest difficulty and still somehow screwing everything up. But hey, I'm sure all of you watching can beat every single level solo on Overkill. But even if you do prefer more team heisting, right now is a really great time to jump into Payday 3 in general. The recent updates in DLC have led to a flood of new and returning players. Like I said, Payday 3 is kind of back right now. It's not just the sponsor money making me say that, even Reddit is, and that's kind of a big deal. And some of the more recent changes make some of these older heists even more enjoyable. Cook-Off is probably my favorite of the legacy heists. You'll approach a cookhouse where the cooks are already detained by police. But thankfully, you can get the drop on them, and from there, you're able to take over this cookhouse for yourself and continue cooking. We're going to be running through several steps required to cook rice. Some really high quality blue rice. And like, yeah, you're actually cooking. You're gonna be running around the house searching for more and more ingredients as each batch finishes. And if you mess up the ingredient order or let a batch sit for too long, you can completely ruin it. Thankfully, after all of that HelloFresh, I'm a masterful cook and perfected every single bag.
It's finished.
That's one batch done. Let's cook another. Let's see here. Pour in some of that muriatic acid.
But like I mentioned a bit earlier, there are also a couple of new weapons added with some of the recent updates. The Queen's Revenge was added in. This is going to be your familiar AR with a special skin and a fixed set of attachments, effectively turning it into a marksman's main tool. And on the new Boys in Blue heist, this rocks. You'll notice a ton of snipers and other enemies show up on the outer edges of the map during this heist. So just park yourself somewhere and start taking these down one by one with your scope, and things will become a breeze. Or if you want true respect from your peers, just use a revolver and iron sights. But as impressive as the Bull Kick 500 is, there's also a new boss on the block. This latest update separately brought in the MX63, a new LMG that you can use while heisting, and yeah, you actually feel like the main character of the entire game while playing with this thing. This is an LMG with a 100-round drum mag, so you can just walk towards hordes of cops with a seemingly unlimited quantity of ammo. Yeah, this gameplay may be on the easiest difficulty of the game, but I still felt like a badass. Don't take that from me. It feels like you have an unlimited quantity of ammo while you're doing this, but you can also do it with a literal unlimited quantity of ammo just by taking this ammo skill. This makes picked up ammo go into your current magazine, so you can just walk forward, mow down an enemy, have them drop ammo, then you pick it up and don't have to reload because your magazine just keeps refilling on its own. And yeah, as you saw, if you're not familiar, Payday 3 does come with a full-fledged skills system. It's honestly pretty great and provides quite a bit of flexibility with how you want to build out your character or how you want to approach certain heists. Don't sleep on the skills, they can make a giant difference. And when I was saying right now is a great time to jump in, I wasn't just saying that. That too isn't the sponsor money. Over the course of 2024, Payday 3 has been having Operation Medic Bag. This was an effort by the devs to make things right, looking at the major pieces of community feedback and actually addressing them before selling more content for the game. And thankfully, we're now on the back half of that, and things have been made significantly better. And that's where things start to get exciting, because in the next few months, more content updates are planned and expected. It should be a Payday 3 filled summer with both free updates and paid DLCs coming out over the next several months, as well as other highly requested features like voice chat or even the server browser are on the way. And just overall, I've been having a ton of fun playing Payday 3. It has this wacky mashup that I feel like no other game is really touching. You get serious, intense moments, but then also frequent spits of the game being completely over the top, but also a really fun and positive community. Basically, every hour I have on this game is in a pub lobby with strangers. I don't know any of these other people, but they've been surprisingly helpful and kind. And if anything I showed you in this video did look good, make sure you check out the Boys in Blue DLC for Payday 3 right now. I'll of course have a link where you can pick this up in the description down below. And if you act quickly enough, you can also get Payday 3 for a nice discount as it is on sale with the Steam Summer Sale. With that said, thanks to Starbreeze for sponsoring this video, and make sure to check out the Payday 3 Boys in Blue DLC for yourself.